Alright, y'all, episode 5. What an episode that was. I can't believe it. Different emotions and feelings than episode 4 for sure. I don't think I had as much like, yeah, go get it kind of feeling, but the beats and how everything progressed was just a totally different tone. It's just so hard to process everything that happens. So we're going to go ahead and try to do that here. So first up, we get some cool stuff with the Aes Sedai funeral for the Dragonsworn and Karenni, which is neat. We don't really see anything like this in the books, so I love getting to take a look at it here on screen and just have some of this expanded upon. Following that, Moiraine says, oh my god, one of my favorite lines in the entire series, may the last embrace of the mother welcome you home. That's a Borderlander saying for when people pass. And yeah, it's just... like hearing some of these iconic book lines in the show is just making me so happy, and I'm hoping that many of you show-only watchers will also feel this way by the time we reach the end of this journey, hopefully in 10 years. After that, we have a time skip for about a month, which is a good thing because it's getting a little boring, everyone being on the road. I'm glad that they've just kind of let us bypass a lot of that stuff. We see the Aes Sedai rolling into Tar Valon, that they're calling it the White City, which is weird. They don't really call it that in the books. They call it the White Tower, but I guess it makes sense. So it makes sense that the city would also be themed around the White Tower. And once we get through that, we cut over to Mat and Rand, and they look pretty haggard and worse for the wear, and we're just shown that they've made it to Tar Valon, which is phenomenal. And then we get to know that Perrin and Egwene have also made it to Tar Valon with the Tinkerers. So yeah, so far everyone's close to the city. We're really close to a full crew reunite, but something steps in our way. Something very white, very gross, and extremely self-righteous. And yes, if you were thinking the White Cloaks, that's exactly who steps in and stops Perrin and Egwene from getting to the White Tower. It is extremely unfortunate, and they are just bastards. I hate them so much. I hate him. Him involved in this episode is even more of a creep. It's like he cranked that creep factor up to 11. He was at an 8, and now he's at an 11. Everything with the White Cloaks was super uncomfortable. Egwene's bathing scene, her getting reclothed, then tied to the chair, Valda talking to her, him tying Perrin up. It was just everything about him was awful and terrible. Back to Mat and Rand though, which means we get some more happy times. Mat's not feeling too hot. He's definitely not happy all the time, and he's having some issues with madness possibly, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But they go to an inn that Tom had told them about, where there's an innkeeper who he's friendly with. Book readers know exactly who this is, so I'm not going to spoil you show watchers there. He may still show up, although I'm not sure if they've cut this character or not, so we'll have to wait and see. When they get into the inn though, and after they've gone to their room and rested up a little bit, Rand goes down to the library where he meets Loyal. Ooh, God, Ahmad, you killed it, man. Your Loyal here is just phenomenal. He could be wearing clown makeup at this point, and that performance was just, okay, maybe not, but that performance was awesome. So yeah, we have our Loyal, and he's phenomenal. I was so happy with everything that happened between him and Rand. That whole exchange was just like a love letter to fans of the books. And I love the way that they presented Loyal, like he speaks so slowly, and then Rand is almost cutting him off every time, like because he's waiting on him to finish his sentences, and he's just so slow. So, you know, humans are quite hasty, and Ogier are slow. Alright, and then, of course, Mat and Rand go and watch Logan be paraded through the city, and Logan looks up at both of them and then laughs like a madman. Of course, he's supposedly mad already, but it was pretty intense. I thought it was funny, though, that everyone was throwing, like, rotten vegetables at him. Like, there's literally Aes Sedai waters that y'all are hitting with that. Speaking of that, little side note here, when they get to the tower and Lan and Ivan and Maxim and Steppen are all in the room getting ready for Steppen's ring ceremony for Karenni, I think it's Maxim that says, well, it was seeing the look on Leandrin's face when she got hit with a radish was priceless, and I was like, oh man, yeah, that's so good. That is so good. This episode, so many great little moments. There was a moment between Leandrin and Moiraine, and I was like, for a second, I was like, wait, was Leandraine a thing? in the past here? Is that what they're doing? Is this Leandraine? What? So that would be a way to keep us book readers on our toes for sure, because that's new. Loyal brings Nynaeve to Rand because he went into the Tarvalon Gardens, and Leandrin had pointed her that way at one point. Just the fact that Rand and Nynaeve and Mat all were reunited so quickly was just awesome. But Nynaeve is keeping their presence in the city a secret from Moiraine. Back to Perrin and Egwene. So yeah, Valda just cuts into Perrin's back to try to force Egwene to channel, and that's pretty awful. Perrin bleeds a whole bunch and is in pain. We see his eyes yellow, so he wolfs a bit there, and then it's just this episode. It hits so many emotions. Like it's awesome, and then it's crushing. Like, I don't want this video to be too long. This is not like a deep dive or a total recap, but so yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm like a ball of emotions right now, and I mean, I'm super excited, and I'm super down, and I'm happy because I saw so many familiar things that honestly, I'm just shocked. There's so many. They talk about Jane Farstrider, y'all. That's just. There's so much stuff to geek out on in this episode. Hopefully I'll have a deep dive out soon. I do want to just, before I wrap the video, I want to talk Stefan's suicide and the bromance with Lan. Like, I was loving it, loving every moment Peter Franz is on screen, and I'm very sad that he's now off screen permanently. Yeah, the nod to seppuku that he commits there, just, you know, warrior traditions and all with the samurai thing. So that was just, it sucked. And he went and did it right outside the hall of the tower, like in front of the warder statues. So I'm wondering if there's something symbolic with that. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see till next episode, or maybe later on. Or, I need to check the BTS stuff. I haven't done that yet. So yeah. This episode, y'all, it's just too good. But the last scene with the warders hitting the chest and screaming, very reminiscent of traditional Korean funerary rites and rituals in South Korea specifically, which is where my wife's from. The funerals, people wail and smack their chests really hard to release all of the agony as quickly as you can. At least it is how she's described it to me. I'm sure there's like 1,000 more ways and levels of depth there, but yeah, it's very reminiscent of what I've seen in multiple movies, dramas, real world events. So yeah, Wheel of Time just keeps killing it, and I mean, I'm happy we finally got to see Loyal, and I loved everything about Hamad's performance. It was fantastic. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video here. I will catch you all next time.